Good morning. This morning I am with Code Enforcement Supervisor Tommy Shilling.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. I know with the students back, with A&M starting the students back, y'all are very busy. And so I definitely wanted to bring you in during this time to talk about all things code enforcement. This is for everybody to hear and learn.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let's start it off. What are the frequent problems that you're seeing right now that you hope people would understand? Like, hey, that's a code violation. And or if you're a neighbor of some young students that don't know our codes, what should they do?
The common violations that we're seeing since school did start today and move in was last week, we're seeing a heavy influx of accumulation of trash. And we asked the public to be kind of mindful. Our sanitation department's kind of get hit hard, especially move in, move out. So kind of be mindful of that, kind of understand the situations. They have a hard task at hand. The best way for us to do that is an educational push. We have sent out educational flyers, and we've done walk and talks with apartments, residential neighborhoods. We've targeted certain areas where there is a heavy influx. And then we'll go out and do walk and talks, calls, phone calls, we're trying to get this information out.
Well, and that's another thing I want to make sure to know that we are not picking on students. I am not picking on students because I remember when I moved here, I had no idea how to deal with my trash because I came from Beaumont and the swamplands where, I mean, honestly, where that was taken care of for me. So that's not one of the things that when you're going off to a new town and starting school that's not a part of the education process is how do you live in a neighborhood? Like, what are the rules? They just don't know. So that's another thing I know our neighborhood services and public communications and code and solid waste, we all try to educate, like, if you're a permanent resident here and you know you have new neighbors, go meet them, go talk to them. We also have welcome bags that you can give them that has our solid waste and recycling guide as well. Like, more education because they honestly don't know. They're not doing it to trash our city. They just don't know.
Right. Like most of the students that come in here, they're 18 to 19 years old and they're used to a certain way. Well, you're now on your own and they just don't understand what the city provides to them. And that's kind of what we've learned a lot with code enforcement. We make those educational calls. Hey, how to become a better neighbor.
Yes.
Park the right way on the street. Don't block your neighbor's parking the driveway. Or, don't accumulate trash. Don't have open storage. So that educational push is really big because a lot of people, like you said, they move from different areas.
Right.
There's different towns have different ordinances, of course, and different rules. So it's very important for them to understand how to be a better neighbor in College Station.
And so if you're curious about codes that the City of College Station has, you can go to cstx.gov/code enforcement, and that lists all of the actual codes as well as the frequently violated, which you mentioned open storage. What is that?
So open storage is anything that is openly stored from the public right-of-way. What we run into is people that put couches in their front yard or like cabinetries and stuff like that. Like the rule of thumb is anything indoors need to be indoors.
Right.
An outdoor couch, a patio couch is generally the way to go.
Okay. And so you also mentioned parking because I know when I was a student here, I got a lot of parking tickets. This is not just a college town. You need to understand, especially during football season, that's coming up and the neighborhoods around Kyle Field. It's hard to find parking. You still need to abide by the laws, the rules there, because also a lot of these parking are state laws. It's not just College Station. So that's what parking, blocking, crosswalks.
Fire hydrants. What we're really running into, especially in close to campus, is prohibited parking. Please pay attention to the signage. If it says no parking anytime tow-away zone, that's exactly what it means. It's not this side or that side. Just pay attention to the signage. Fire hydrants, you can't be within 15 feet of a fire hydrant. That's a real big one right now because especially like in the Southside District, there's so many fire hydrants that a lot of people think that it's supposed to be painted red. So that's actually a fire lane. So if they had to do that fire lane in one area, they'd have to do it throughout the city, and that's just not feasible. So pay attention to fire hydrants, pay attention to signage, and the really big one is facing traffic. The good rule of thumb is your steering wheel should never be against the curb. And that's what I explain to the residents when we make the phone calls.
And I mean, that is a safety issue. So whenever
Yes.
you're ready to leave that parking spot, you should be going with the flow of traffic and not have to cause a problem. The other one, especially with, I mean, we've had some rain, but with the drought, don't park in the grass.
Yes, that is a very big one. We're actually working on a flyer to kind of educate the parking in the grass, because especially with the drought, grass fires have been really big here, and we try and get that education out there. We start by warnings whenever we see one. The code officers in certain areas will drive their area, and if there is a vehicle that's parked in the grass, they'll start with the warning, because a lot of people don't understand, even though that is state law. It depends on what city actually writes or does not write. So we do heavy education first, but with the drought, we've kind of been in that more enforcement stage than actually warning, because it's a immediate health and safety risk.
Because it could start a fire.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll start a fire with our dry grass.
Yep,
I don't think people know that.
grass to house and
Exactly.
vice versa. Yes, ma'am.
Especially in our neighborhoods. And if, again, I wanted to throw out, so I have another URL. I'm full of URLs on this show. But cstx.gov/new neighbor has literally everything that we're talking about today and more, and where you can order welcome bags. But we also have all of our code enforcement. We have flyers that we mentioned that we can get out there. So definitely go there if you're new into town, or if you're like, man, I've lived here for a while and I didn't know about some of these rules. Still go there, cstx.gov/new resident. We are also working on a solid waste and recycling guide, so hopefully households will get that September, October-ish, so that'll all go out, because if some are wondering, like, well, what else are you doing for all the new people in town, we will have that.
Yes.
But, well, do you have anything else you'd like to add for folks?
Yeah, not just with the city's website. We also have a social media website called C-Click Fix.
Yes.
Whenever somebody, if you're in a certain area, or your neighbors, or however it goes, you notice that it could be a potential code violation, take pictures and put it through there. It's a social media website, and the code officer for that area will receive that complaint, and we will visit that address or wherever the complaint may be. If it's deemed a violation, we'll actually do a comment back to that person and kind of keep them where they're not being led on. We actually go, it's always every day, like we'll actually do the comments and let them know, hey, this is not a violation, or this is a violation. So that's a great website or a great social media site for the residents of College Station as well.
Is it an app too? Like, can you
Yes.
download the app? So
Yes.
it's an app, or you can go to the online portal.
Yes, ma'am.
And then type in, do your stuff, and it's GIS too,
Yes,
right?
it
Links?
is.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
it is. It is linked. It is. Just be careful if you're in a certain area. It might GIS link you to where you're at. So if to help us out, be as accurate as you can.
That's good advice.
Like if you don't know an actual number of the house, kind of get us in that vicinity, because unfortunately all these houses do look the same.
Sure.
And then if they don't have the numbers, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. So usually we'll have to ask them, hey, can you give us an exact address? But if we can push that out now, it makes our job a lot easier, and we're not lost or trying to find that actual address.
Can you also search on there? Like, if I'm like, oh, I need to turn something in, can I go see if someone else has done it?
Yes.
You can see that
actually
too?
can.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
You can there's the C-Click Fix app it's amazing. You can actually pinpoint where most of the calls or the complaints have come in through that GIS portal. It's amazing.
So you can see what areas you really need to do walk and talks and things like that.
Yes.
That is good. So yes, we have thrown out a lot of information to you, but cstx.gov, and you can search for anything if you don't remember any of our URLs. And be sure to follow us on social media as well. Whenever we have stuff going on, and blogs and different things like that, we post that. Also, I know you talk about one of the other things coming up in October will be the household hazardous waste.
Yes.
So, and that's a big thing. We always see trash. Move in, move out is a ton of trash everywhere. And so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. The good thing about what the city provides as well, if you pay for utilities and it is in your name, you can actually go to the Twin Oaks landfill and provide them with that utilities bill, and you can dump your extra trash into there.
Okay.
Also, you can actually call for what we've learned is with these target areas where they have 4 people in that address, they're kind of accumulating a lot more trash, and they only have 1 trash can. So they can call sanitation and get an extra trash can. So that would kind of deviate that that accumulation from happening. Yeah, and then another thing that we're running into is the trash cans being left out after the collection, and a lot of people don't understand that kind of messes up the neighborhood, right? Like nobody wants to see that trash cans at the street. It has to be brought up to the house,
right?
But a lot of people don't understand, like you said, when they move into College Station, the ordinances or rules. So what they can do is the College Station Curbside app. It tells you trash can days, collections, your bulk, your recycle can, and actually you can actually set it up where it sends you a reminder. That trust me, I live in Castlegate and I have the app because sometimes I'm like, oh wait, I got to go put out my trash. So it's a great venue for the people here.
That is a great plug. It is a free app, College Station Curbside. And for those that don't know, you have a trash can day. I like to say you have a recycle can day if you live in single family. And then you have a brush and bulky where you can go and put your stuff out. And there's special collection days for that. You can get reminders on the app. The other thing I've seen driving around town is people don't understand there's not always someone physically getting out of the truck and picking up your stuff. The trucks have arms. I mean, we got to get through all these households. The trucks have arms. So make sure when you put your stuff out, your can or the brush and bulky, that it's not by a parked car, tree limb or mailboxes. I was about to say mailboxes because the truck can't pick it up. So sometimes when people don't pile bags of trash around your trash can or the truck can't pick it up.
Right.
So little things like that, if you're like, why didn't my stuff get picked up and I put it out at the right time? It might have been a problem like that.
Yes.
As well.
Correct. Yes. We've kind of started running into that problem as well because they only have the one can and they're starting to kind of pancake that trash can up or put those bags around the cans. And like you said, the trash truck, it's not the old school way of, jumping up, grabbing trash, throwing it in the trash truck. They literally, they service from night to day,
right.
And they don't have time to get out there. Literally, it's a grab truck, throw it, and they go on to the next can. Also, a good rule of thumb is they like the cans being more than 4 foot away. For that way, It gives them enough footage to actually get in there and pick those up.
These are all fun facts. So fun facts. And that's the other thing. If you know you're moving, if you know you're going to move, like kind of consider what you're not taking. Like if you have good stuff that you can donate, we have a ton of nonprofit organizations in town where you can donate stuff. Or like I said, like, okay, I can't just all throw it at the curb, go to the landfill and take care of it that way. And then if you know you're going to have a lot, maybe proactively call solid waste and be like, hey, I need an extra collection or I need an extra can for that. So do a little extra planning if you know you're moving out and you're going to have a lot of stuff just to help out staff and your neighbors.
Yes. Just kind of what we push is just be better neighbors. Yep.
See, and again, because you could be living by a retired couple, a young professional needs to get up, in all hours and have been here forever. So we love our students, we love our new residents, but we just want to help you.
Yes, we want to help you be better neighbors.
Yes.
And not just with the websites, they could actually call code enforcement. 979-764-6363. Usually, most of our code officers are out in the field, but being the supervisor, I do stay in the office. But we would love to push out that education to them, and it's a simple yes or no. Just call us, and we can educate you. And that's because there's sometimes where we do target areas, and we call people, and there's some that we don't. So if you ever have any questions, please call us, email us. We would love to get this information out.
Yeah, and y'all have an easy email. It's codeenforcement@cstx.gov. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
Good. Yes. So there's all the ways that you can find more information or ask questions. And with that, thank you so much for stopping in and giving us all the code enforcement information.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And with that, that's stuff you don't usually see.